Barley, can you unmute and then talk about how your meditation has been going?
Okay, did I unmute?
Yes, yes, you
Okay.
did.
Yeah.
I have been, I was on a vacation and there was no way I could meditate, unfortunately. But when I got back, I started watching old videos and I was very successful.
Very good. Your voice went away.
It did? Oh, well, I
There
don't
it
know
is.
why.
Okay. Anyway, so you found the old videos to be useful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Very useful. Yep, that's a good way to get back into it again.
Yes, that's a good thing to do. Good
Mhm.
work.
And I think I was really understanding monkey mind.
Yes, that's good. And, for me, I've been busy trying to understand monkey mind for maybe the last 40 years.
Like the time.
Anyway,
Oh, no.
well, it takes a while. Sometimes this mind isn't very clever. It takes a while for some things to soak through. Anyway, how about you, Richard?
Me, well, I'm giving Monkey Mind a lot of tequila, see if he passes out.
And you're not even in Mexico.
That's right. Well, good. How's your practice been, Richard?
Oh, it's pretty steady, pretty good. Very fortunate to have the teachers that we have that have given us so much, and
Yes.
and now we just follow where they point to, and hope the monkey mind passes out, and we realize that we're not that.
Yes. I am very grateful for where the teachers point us.
Right, yeah.
And I know in my own case, I practiced for 25 years without a teacher. And if that's the case, then it's like you're trying to use the monkey mind as your teacher, and it just doesn't work very well.
That's right, yeah. Good thing we find a teacher like Nomi and Ramana and Nisargadatta.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Anyway, how about you, Doug? How's your meditation been?
Well, it's been spotty at best, I'd say.
Uh-huh.
But I did have a really good meditation one day.
Okay.
Well, and if you're for quality or quantity, but it was, you asked me last week, Richard, what I meant by good meditation. And I think I gave an incomplete answer.
Uh-huh.
Another way I tell if it was a good meditation is the way I feel after
Yes.
I meditate. If I have this like a feeling of lightness,
Yes.
like it's hard to describe, but I think you know what I mean.
Yes, it's hard to describe,
And
but it's easy to recognize.
yes, yes, that's so true. And so that's another way I know that
Yes.
it was a good meditation.
Yes. And to me, that is one of the best ways, because in the meditation, one of the things that happens is you let go of things you don't need.
Mm-hmm.
And the things turn out to be ideas and stuff that just weigh us down. because we're carrying stuff that was never real to begin with, and we're carrying it around like it's this burden.
Right.
But we just made the whole thing up. So, it's funny. Some of these things you hear about these experiences as the day of laughter. When, you just discover how silly this has all been, Anyway, good. How about you, Carol?
Well, we've been having good meditations, and I have said this every week now for the past few weeks, but it's really good to have a group. There's some kind of feedback you get of people who are really into being quiet, and then it makes you quiet yourself. So, and I also would say for Doug, yeah, one really good meditation is worth a lot of trying.
Yes, yes. The only problem I've had in my meditation in the last week is a week ago tonight, I was reading a book, and I got up and my leg fell asleep, and I fell and broke my butt, my tailbone. And, and it was uncomfortable and hard to sit for a while, but it passed, and I'm okay now. Anyway, again, it's good to see you. And, I'm so grateful that we're able to join each other like this, like we do. And so, since we're so grateful and happy to be together, then let's meditate.
Okay.
Mindfulness is present moment awareness, paying attention in the present moment, non-judgmentally, fully receive whatever is experienced, then let it go. All right. Now, today I want to talk about powering your practice. Ramana Maharshi, the great sage from India, whose ashram remains in Tiruvannamalai, where Carol and I lived for 8 years before coming to Mexico, he was asked how long practice is needed. And Ramana says, until liberation becomes permanent. This shows a long-term direction to practice is to break free of all of these ideas that we hold that seem to limit us. I've found with meditation practice that there are two main problems. The first is actually getting started. All of you are past this point. The next part is sustaining your practice as a long-term part of your life and growth and development. To keep our practice going, two things are needed. The first is a deep desire for liberation, a desire to be free and happy. This desire powers the engine, so to say. It gives you energy and the will to keep going, to find and overcome obstacles. Without this deep drive, your practice may be good and it may bring you more peace, but you'll progress slowly. You need to ask yourself just how important it is for you to be happy, peaceful, and to feel fullness within yourself. The more you realize that meditation practice brings this, the more you will keep diving into the practice. Now, the other thing that is needed is to enjoy the process, to find happiness in it. If it is a chore, it'll never get deep. So find the intrinsic joy that is opened up by your practice, the joy of this moment, the joy of just being, not doing something, but just being. You want to get to the place where your practice proceeds on its own. This is expressed in the Zen story of the 10 bulls that we talked about a few months ago, and it's shown in number 6. Before number 6 is the 5th bull, which is taming the bull. What we're going to talk about next is what follows this taming of the bull. This is the direction of your practice. Oops, I went too far. Again, that's happened before. Here is number 6. I thought I had number 6, but I didn't have number 6. Anyway, number 6 shows this young man mounted on a bull riding into the distance. He's sitting atop the bull with his flute in his hand, playing his flute, and the bull just goes where it is going. It knows where to go. And now you can sit atop the bull and play this flute because you no longer need to guide the bull. The bull goes now of its own accord. Practice continues on its own accord naturally. And the poem under the image of 6 says, mounting the bull, slowly I return homeward. The voice of my flute intones through the evening, measuring with hand beats the pulsating harmony, I direct the endless rhythm. Whoever hears this melody will join me. They'll join you because your peace and joy attract those who notice you. They want to find this peace and joy too. Some will notice you. Some, though, it's like they will look at the rock lying on the ground that is actually a diamond laying in front of it, pick it up and say, "This old rock, I'm not interested," and then just throw it away. You are offered this jewel. You have only to pick it up. You need to make the effort. And to me, that is a beautiful story. And it is where the practice continues on its own accord. I don't have to do it. I don't have to make myself practice. It just is a part of my life and who I am. And to kind of illustrate this, what I wanted to do was to find something to talk about the whole story of the 10 bulls. And I looked around and looked around, and I'll show you what I finally found. Uh, you may recognize the person who is telling this story, because again, I'm going to today read from the 10 Bulls, and this is a very old Zen story on the search for and progress towards enlightenment. The search for the bull is a metaphor for the search for your own true nature. I think it turns out that the bull is the ego, which obscures your inner nature. I first encountered this when I was 22 in the book I've been reading from, Zen Flesh, Zen Bones by Paul Reps. I've used it ever since periodically to see where I am on the path. So here we go. This number one, the search for the bull. In the pastures of this world, I endlessly push aside the tall grasses in search of the bull, following unnamed rivers, lost upon the interpenetrating paths of distant mountains, my strength failing and my vitality exhausted. I cannot find the bull. I only hear the locusts churring through the forest at night. And this is the comment from the author of these verses. The bull has never been lost. What need is there to search? Only because of the separation from my true nature, I fail to find him. In the confusion of the senses, I lose even his tracks. Far from home, I see many crossroads, but which way is the right one? I know not. Greed and fear, good and bad, entangle me. My comment, this is where we all start. But before you can start, you have to feel like that there is something more to life, some state of mind, some feeling, some understanding, something that is available to you that now you just don't have or experience. The bull represents our true nature. We start looking for it as something outside of ourselves, since when we are just starting this search, this is all we know. Next, discovering the footprints. Along the river bank under the trees, I discover footprints. Even under the fragrant grass, I see his prints. Deep in remote mountains they are found. These traces no more can be hidden than one's nose looking heavenward. Comment. Understanding the teaching, I see the footprints of the bull. Then I learn that just as many utensils are made from one metal, so too are myriad entities made of the fabric of self. Unless I discriminate, how will I perceive the true from the untrue? Not yet having entered the gate, nevertheless I have discerned the path. My comments. Once you start to notice the traces of the bull, your own inner nature, they seem to be everywhere. How could you have missed it before? It was there all along, you just didn't notice it. 3. Perceiving the bull. I hear the song of the nightingale. The sun is warm, the wind is mild, willows are green along the shore. Here no bull can hide. What artist can draw that massive head, those majestic horns? Comment. When one hears the voice, one can sense its source. As soon as the six senses merge, the gate is entered. Wherever one enters, one sees the head of the bull. The unity is like salt in water, like color and dye stuff. The slightest thing is not apart from self. My comment. Once you really look, you can see the bull everywhere. Everything shows your inner nature. In fact, your inner nature is the light by which everything is illuminated. Catching the bull, like the Cat Stevens album Catch Bull at 4. I seize him with a terrific struggle. His great will and power are inexhaustible. He charges to the high plateau, far above the cloud mists, or in an impenetrable ravine he stands. Comment. He dwelt in the forest a long time, but I caught him today. Infatuation for scenery interferes with his direction. Longing for sweeter grass, he wanders away. His mind is still stubborn and unbridled. If I wish him to submit, I must raise my whip. My comment. To get closer to your inner nature, you see that you somehow must gain control of your mind. It is the desires and aversions of the mind that obscure your inner nature. Covering it with these desires and aversions, you can gain control, but it's not easy. 5 is taming the bull. The rope The whip and rope are necessary, else he might stray off down some dusty road. Being well trained, he becomes naturally gentle. Then, unfettered, he obeys his master. Comment: when one thought arises, another thought follows. When the first thought springs from enlightenment, all subsequent thoughts are true. Through delusion, one makes everything untrue. Delusion is not caused by objectivity, seeing things as they are. It is the result of subjectivity, seeing things as conditioned by your mind. Hold the nose ring tight and do not allow even a doubt. My comment: you learn as you practice that these desires are based on a misunderstanding of where happiness comes from. You first started by looking for it in objects of the world, and finally discover that the real source of happiness is from within yourself. When you discover this, the bull loses all its power. 6 is riding the bull home. Mounting the bull, slowly I return homeward. The voice of my flute intones through the evening. Measuring with hand beats the pulsating harmony, I direct the endless rhythm. Whoever hears this melody will join me. Comment: the struggle is over. Gain and loss are assimilated. I sing the song of the village woodman and play the tunes of the children. Astride the bull, I observe the clouds above. Onward I go, no matter who may wish to call me back. My comment: there comes a time when practice becomes natural. It is not what you do sometimes, but rather is how you live in the world. When this happens, practice is no longer any effort, and practice is continuous. I think this is where I am now in my own search for the bull. 7. The bull transcended. Astride the bull, I reach home. I am serene. The bull too can rest. The dawn has come. In blissful repose within my thatched dwelling, I have abandoned the whip and rope. Comment: all is one law, not two. We only make the bull a temporary subject. It is as the relationship of rabbit and trap or fish and net. It is as gold and dross or the moon emerging from the cloud. One path of clear light travels on throughout endless time. My comment: when you truly see that there is nothing you need to acquire, nothing to gain, nothing to do, then efforts cease and you can just be. This moment is enough. 8. Both bull and self transcended. Whip, rope, person and bull all merge in no thing. This heaven is so vast no message can stain it. How may a snowflake exist in a raging fire? Here are the footprints of the patriarchs. Comment. Mediocrity is gone. Mind is clear of limitation. I seek no state of enlightenment, neither do I remain where no enlightenment exists. Since I linger in neither condition, eyes cannot see me. If hundreds of birds strew my path with flowers, such praise would be meaningless. My comment. This is when you know there is no separation. There was never a bull that is separate from yourself, that there is just one. 9. Reaching the source. Too many steps have been taken returning to the root and the source. Better to have been blind and deaf from the beginning. Dwelling in one's true abode, unconcerned with that without, the river flows tranquilly on, and the flowers are red. Comment. From the beginning, truth is clear. Poised in silence, I observe the forms of integration and disintegration. One who is not attached to form, not need be reformed. The water is emerald, the mountain is indigo, and I see that which is creating and that which is destroying. My comment, at last you see not only is there just one, and you see that you are that one. You see this, you know this, and you are that one. You have always been this one. The search was all based on imagination of something you thought you needed from outside yourself. This is the day of laughter. And 10 is in the world. Barefooted and naked of breast, I mingle with the people of the world. My clothes are ragged and desolated, and I am ever blissful. I use no magic to extend my life. Now before me the dead trees become alive. Comment. Inside my gate 1,000 sages do not know me. The beauty of my garden is invisible. Why should one search for the footprints of the patriarchs? I go to the marketplace with my wine bottle and return home with my staff. I visit the wine shop and the market, and everyone I look upon becomes enlightened. My comment. What can you do now but be in the world and just show who you are? Naturally, you will teach anyone who asks. You give what you have naturally to everyone around you. What else can you do? All right. And now, again, I'm going to today get past this. Now, let us spend a few more minutes meditating. Settle in, feel your breath, and notice who within you knows this breath and the flow of breath. The witness that just knows without being involved. Settle in and feel the peace within. Feel the peace that you are. And notice that you don't have to search for this peace. It is there within you whenever all of these ideas of your mind get quiet. There is this peace, and you are that. All right. Oh, Shanti, Shanti,
Shanti,
Shanti. Om. Peace,
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 peace.
peace. All right. Questions, comments? Find any bulls?
Find that the bull and the rider and the whip and everything never existed.
Right. They're all the same. You know, one of the things that, I feel real happy after this session and after the meditation after it, and, how that story pointed me, kind of real deep within. And I find it kind of extraordinary. I read that first 56 years ago, and it still has all this meaning for me. Those guys were good,
Nothing's changed in all those years.
That's right.
That was very good. And it looked like maybe it was a cold day when you were reading that.
Oh, it was a cold day. It was the middle of the winter, and I was dressed in every warm thing I have. You're
Oh,
muted, Carol.
Okay, well, what I wanted to say was, Richard, there's no heat in these houses here.
Oh.
So even at 50 degrees, it could be pretty chilly inside.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The other day we were reading about Ajijic and how many expats are there. It's the most expats anywhere in Mexico.
That's what we
Really?
hear.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Where else would they go?
Mexico City.
Mexico City. There's quite a few here too,
Uh-huh.
although they're mostly not in my neighborhood. They're
Right.
elsewhere.
Uh-huh. And you've been really happy in Mexico City, it seems.
Oh, yes, yes. It has really worked for me.
That's great.
Where in Mexico City do you live, Doug?
Well, I don't know how to explain that. Do you know Mexico City?
Yeah, I lived there 13 years.
Okay, well, okay. I live in Tlacoquemecatl.
Okay, not Tecamachalco.
Yes,
Tecamachalco?
Tlaque, no. See, after over a year here, I still stumble over the name of it. Tlacoquemecatl.
Oh, okay.
It's in the Colonia del Valle.
Colonia del Valle. Are you close to the university?
No, that's further south. Yeah, that's further south. I am south of, like, say, downtown. But it just it's Del Valle.
Okay, I could kind of place you now.
Okay. It's a big town.
It's a big
City,
town.
yeah.
And anyway, I suggest for you guys to go look on the internet, search for the 10 Bulls, and look at those stories, the 10 Bulls of Zen, and look at the stories and read them and reflect them. I have found altogether they are one of the best guides to practice that I've ever encountered. It also is interesting to me that they took this story from the Taoists And the Taoists ended at number 8, which is the empty circle. And the Zen guys added number 9, reaching the source. And then number 10, coming down from the mountain and just enlightening everyone you encounter. I think that's a nice story.
It is. It's very powerful. And you mentioned that book, Zen Flesh, Zen Bones.
Yes.
Might be interesting to find that book for me.
It's by Paul Reps, and you can find it on Amazon, and I could lend you my copy. It's 50 years old and ragged, though.
Yeah, I'm sure it's all highlighted.
I got it before highlighters existed. So
Okay.
anyway, very good to see you. Have good meditations, and we'll see you next week. Namaste.
Okay,
Namaste.
take care, and don't walk on your leg when it's numb.
Okay. Yes. I've learned to be careful to make sure my systems work before I stand up.
Good, good.
Okay. Adios.
Bye.
Okay.